Hi everyone, my name is Nina Melendez. I am the Virtual Content Specialist for our multilingual learners and English language learners for mathematics grades 9 through 12. Today we're going to look at a brief overview of our Algebra 1, Week 27, Day 23 lesson. And I am going to reshare what I do with my students in my classroom, my Ls, to teach them how to use Desmos not only as a tool, but as a way for me to see if they're understanding how to graph and to share their work with their classmates. So one thing that I will provide as a resource is that in this lesson, we need to make sure that the students can recall what slope-intercept form is and what the different parts of an expression are. So as a good beginning step, or whichever step, wherever you prefer in your lesson, I have provided a small vocabulary organizer where it goes over key concepts of what slope-intercept form is. They're going to need this for the introduction launch portion of this lesson and how it relates to its graph. And it also goes over the parts of an expression and how to identify them and what are key features when looking at the different parts of an expression, like our coefficients, our constants, and our variables. The reason they need this is that the students immediately are going to have to be able to make observations on a graph given three separate equations. So they're going to have to be able to match them up, recognizing the slope and the y-intercept, and be able to identify that that is the way that they know that that's the correct graph. We are able to give our students tools to be able to graph. Our graphing calculators are a great resource. But I also like them to be able to make that connection between I'm seeing this in a graph, I'm seeing this in a table, I'm seeing this in an equation. All these things are related. Now, the biggest portion of this lesson is the explore. In this portion, students are really going to be able to take their time and really focus and delve into the different parts of this lesson. And it's going to be using Desmos. I made a student-facing video in which I go over the first part here and walk them through a little bit of the second and third, but they do that more independently. But I walk them through the first part with the examples provided here. Now it says use the Desmos graphing calculator. So the students can automatically click here and enter into Desmos. So they will be able to open up Desmos. Now, when they open up Desmos, it'll open for them in a new tab, and it'll be a graphing calculator. Okay, so many of us already have Desmos accounts, and many of our students also have Desmos accounts. If your students don't have a Desmos account is a really good way for them to share their graphs. One thing that I make sure and that I taught as a standalone lesson in our tech class is that we walk them through the steps of how to create their own login in Google. And this is a good way, whether they are virtual or they are in person. If they're working through a computer, they are able to share their graphs. So I had my students click login and log in with Google and log in with their school email specifically. I had them log in with their school email and make sure that they were able to see the interface correctly. Now, they don't need to do this from this graphing page. They can do this from the main page in Desmos. I just like to show it from here so they don't have to be clicking from page to page. Now, I have them write their graph. So if today the graph was y equals x squared, and compare it to the graph of y equals x squared plus 2, then I have them name that graph. I ask them to put their first name It says untitled graph right here. So I have them put their first name and then the lesson or whatever you will have them name if it's for a split moment. And then I have them save it. Once that is saved, the students can easily share this graph with me. They can go here to the share graph icon. They can copy the link. And once that link is copied, they can go onto the lesson. And whether it's through a Padlet, through a Google Slides, through a collaborative slide, they will be able to then share their work because they will be able to copy and paste it in whatever platform. This is a very good way also for your launch if you want them to share a graph with you individually, or if a student is having trouble understanding different things within a graph. This is a good way for them to be able to share that work with you and not necessarily always have to screenshot it. I hope this is helpful and have a lovely day. See you in the next one.